Go.
Pregame.com.
Welcome back, Pregame.tv. Ken Thomson, Dave Cokin, switching our attention now from the NFL gridiron. We're going to give out some free plays, college hardwood. Dave, wall-to-wall games all week long.
Yep, and we're staying close to home, so to speak, because we're in Mountain West country, and we're looking at 2 Mountain West Saturday matchups. Fresno
State taking on Wyoming. That'll be my free play there. And some good news for Fresno State. Finally, Cesar Guerrero back with the team.
Yeah, and it looked like he was going to be done for the season.
Right.
Because he originally was supposed to be eligible
December 18th.
At the end of the first semester.
Right.
And then that didn't happen. And it looked like, well, I guess they'll just have to go without him. And the point guard who's taken over has done an excellent job. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name. Begins with a O, and then you take it from there. But now Guerrero's back. He had his first game return against San Jose State. Played pretty well. He had some turnover issues, but that's to be expected. But there's no question Fresno's a better team with Guerrero on the floor than without him.
And now they sit atop, tied the Mountain West, 4-1 with Wyoming. Wyoming, a setback. First time in 3 years they lose to San Diego State at home. Good job by the Aztecs.
Well, it was a San Diego State type of game. They did make a few jump shots and then settled into their usual routine of missing a lot of shots. But San Diego State plays every defensive possession like it's the most important of the season. They killed Wyoming on the boards. They made their free throws for a change, and they went wire to wire. I don't think they ever trailed in the game. If they did, it was only by a point or two early.
Despite losing the last 2 times in Laramie going into last night, still 7-2 now against Wyoming with Steve Fisher at that.
Yeah, Steve Fisher's teams just always bring it. And, I'd like to see him get past the Sweet 16 some year in the NCAA tournament. I don't know if they're really capable of doing that this year, but this is not a team you want to be facing early on in the NCAA tournament either, because they just play such great fundamental defense.
And Fresno, of course, shorthanded early on. Now they have Guerrero back, but a nice job by Coach Terry to keep them alive there, and now off to a good start.
I think Terry's done a heck of a job there. This was a really bad program when Terry arrived there. And they had some things go wrong after Terry arrived, with players leaving. In fact, one of their better players ended up transferring to UNLV because his dad was sick.
Right.
And yet the team keeps on getting better. And, they won 21 games last year. Granted, some of those were in that, whatever that goofy tournament is that you have to pay your way into at the end of the year, CBI or CIT. But they still had a better season than anybody could have projected. And I think they're exceeding expectations again this year. Now they're in a big game spot. I think this is going to be really interesting to see what Fresno does here, because I think this is the first game they've had where the pressure really is on them to prove that they belong in this pennant race. Or if you want to, San Diego State's going to win the conference, but in this battle for second and at least an NIT bid out of the NCAA tournament. Out of the Mountain West Conference.
No, it's Thursday night, so Thursday late afternoon, and game won't be till Saturday, so the lines are not out yet. Trusting your power rankings, have it right around Wyoming 2, 2.5, 3, somewhere in that.
Yeah, I mean, the pure ratings 4, but I don't think it'll come that high. I think it'll come a little less than that. So I'd say 2.5 or 3 with Wyoming favored. And I'm probably not going to be on this game myself. I know you like it better than I do. Primarily because I want to see what Fresno State does in a big pressure situation. But it looks like they've got the horses to win the game.
All right, this is going to be my free play, so I'm going to go ahead, going to make it official. And in this spot, I'm going to take a shot at Fresno State. And the reason being, Guerrero came in there, played 21 minutes, had a nice game. Again, 4 of 7 behind the arc. I'll take that all day. 4 turnovers, want to cut down on that, as Dave said. Maybe too many turnovers, but probably a little antsy, getting back into action. First time game action's been practicing with the team, but good to see him back out there. Also, Marvell Harris, who's their leading scorer, 17 points a game. He struggled from the floor. He went 0-5 from behind the arc and really didn't play a good game. So if I can get him on the same page with Guerrero, the crowd's going to be into it. Again, this is a battle of 2 4-1 teams inside the Mountain West. Also, look for a little bit of a letdown. And again, Chiat, an outstanding coach, will do what he can to get the guys up. But it's a natural letdown when you have San Diego State, a team coming into your house, a team that you expect to win. Crowd was packed. They were going nuts there, but couldn't close it out. They lose that game. Now they got to pack up, a day to prepare, get on the road. And again, a team that's really starting to peak technique in getting all their horses together with Guerrero back at the point guard position. And again, he's a pretty good shooter as well. So I'm looking for Fresno State to win this game. And as Dave said, probably catching a couple points at home. It's good enough for me. I think Fresno, it's a right spot for them. I think it's a tough spot for Wyoming. Wouldn't surprise me if Wyoming wins because of Shiat being that good a coach, but I'm going to take the shot on Fresno State in the spot. And also with Guerrero back, I see him playing more like 30 minutes in this game and possibly even starting the game. And that's where I'm going to go, Dave.
All right, and it should be fun to see, because if Fresno State does this, when this, it's a signal to the rest of the conference that they've arrived and they're no longer what we're used to seeing out of Fresno State.
There you go. Okay, so one Mountain West play in the bank. Got another one. Dave Cokin going to take a look at UNLV Running Rebels. They're going to be going to San Diego to take on the San Diego State Aztecs. We'll talk about that when we come back. Pregame.tv.